Everybody, my name is Adeo. I'm CEO of the Decile Group. I'm joined here by Travis Giggy, not only a very good friend of mine, but also our head of product. Travis, you want to introduce yourself quickly?
Hey everybody, how you doing? It is a true joy and honor actually to work for this company. What we're doing in the world is just, very inspiring and it's also nice to work with my friend. So,
Yeah, it was good to see you last night as well in the offsite because someone's asking like, "What internet do you have in Mexico that it's so good?"
just
Starting.
regular old total pay, just on fiber though.
Oh, you have fiber. Okay, I'm jealous. All right, so before we go into like showing you stuff on the screen, which is going to be totally cool. I just tested it, so it works, or a lot of it. I want to tell you what our vision is, right? Because I think this is, sometimes you see stuff, you're like, this is really cool. Oh, cool. And a lot of the things we're about to show you are really cool, but they're headed in a direction, right? And where we want to get to is that you basically have an AI that does most of the nitty gritty, boring work of running your fund and even advises you on what you should do to be successful. And then all you really need to do as the manager is focus on finding money and investing that money. Okay? That's it. Finding money and investing money. And then all that other crap that you do, in fact, need to do, all the complicated accounting, all the details of like and the analyzing deals in ways that are kind of boring and you might need a whole team to do. We're going to have AI handle that so that you as a manager can run a firm like Sequoia Capital and be a single practitioner. You'll have the resources of the biggest and the best firms in the world at your disposal, powered by AI to do things that the biggest firms in the world can't even do because you have more tools and more power than they do. That's where we want to get to. Now, what I'm going to show you today is like step one in that journey, right? Pieces of what Pieces of doing deal analysis, pieces of finding LPs, pieces of writing LPs, pieces of closing deals. That these are all being done and automated, but it's not quite at the point where it's like set it and forget it and the AI is whispering in your ear, "Oh, now you need to do this. Oh, thank you AI. I didn't think of that. Great point." Right? We're not quite there, but it's pretty close, right? You're going to see, whoa, you're going to see that this vision isn't that far away. It's not a million miles away, right? It's kind of like right around the corner. And I don't know, Travis, how far you think it is, but I think by the end of this year, a lot of what I just said will be in place because you're going to
Yeah,
see pieces of it. And certainly
yeah.
by next year, what I just said will be real. I don't know.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. We work on it every day right now, and if I squint my eyes, I can see the future from here. It's very exciting.
Yeah, and like let me give you an example. So there's a vector database where you store all kind of crap that you want AI to analyze, and it turns it into stuff that AI can process because AI is not maybe not great at processing PDFs or complex spreadsheets or stuff like that. So we're moving all this content, for example, on deals and things you're doing in the vector database. We're allowing AIs to access different pieces of your fund, and we're very sensitive about this, right? So we have full support of all the different AIs out there in the world today, all the different models, LLMs, etc. And so we can use different LLMs for different jobs. So, for example, we'll show you some social stuff. And it's okay to use LLMs on the internet that can that are maybe less secure if all it's doing is producing social content for you about your industry and doesn't look at any of your data, right? So we have different LLMs and different AI models for different things, and some things don't even interact with your data at all. So we're very sensitive about what is secure, what is not secure, what can be opened up, what shouldn't be opened up, what LM can see one thing and not another thing. And that plumbing is all in place right now. There's a lot of stuff to show, so maybe I should get to showing and stop getting to talking, or whatever. That didn't come out too great. All right, so you get the gist, though. All right, so many of you have seen the Decile Hub user interface before, and I'll start off with like fundraising because there's some cool stuff around fundraising that we built, and I've shown some of this before. But like obviously searching for LPs is one of your big things. And so we have whole AI toolkits built to help with there. And many of you have seen our AILP archetype advisor, which is basically using AI to help you find LPs. So we support having different funds. So in this case, I have a fund, an SPV, another SPV. So I'm going to go to my fund, fund one, and it's going to say, hey, is this the thesis you want to look for LPs for? I say yes. And now it's just going to start suggesting LPs. And one of the cool things about this, and again, many of you have seen this before, is it's going to start building these LP profiles. Um, and then it's going to say, and it's going to allow me to search for them. I'm going to show you how to add them. I'm going to show you some new features on this as well. So it's to say, hey, tech executives are probably a pretty good category for your fund. What's their background, personal background, investment experience, interests. It even tells you, like, why don't you host a symposium? Why don't you attend the Stanford Sustainability and Technology events? That's actually a pretty good idea. Why don't you join the climate tech Slack communities? All right. So it actually not only tells you where to find them, it tells you how to find them, all this stuff, and it will give you a bunch of them. And then on top of that, you could say, hey, maybe tech executives aren't the best. I need something else. And it will help you refine them. And some of you have seen this before where you can actually then go to these links, right? So I click that, it will open up LinkedIn. I can look, did it do that right? Let's see. Okay, you go to links, you go, let's say I want to look for my first degree connections. I see there's this gentleman named Rocco that's in this group. I can hit Rocco here. Then we have an AI plugin, and we've added some cool stuff to the AI plugin. So now,
By the
first,
way, I just want to say really quickly for anybody else that's doing this, make sure that you click on contact info before you launch the Chrome extension. That way you can pull in the contact information for this person. We don't want to grab Rocco's email address in front of
yeah, I
everybody.
don't
So
like
they always
showing
come with
people's private information on public webinars. Correct. So if you click contact information first, LinkedIn pulls up the contact information. And then if you hit the plugin, you often get their phone number and email address. But as Travis said, we're not. Thank you, Travis, for that. So, of course, it sees that Rocco's working for Colony, but I want to just go after the person Rocco. And what the AI is going to do is build a profile of Rocco right now. I'm going to say, hey, he's a limited partner. So I'm putting him as limited partner. He's filling out, writing a whole background on him. And one of the other cool things it's done is it says, hey, Michael Potter is a connector that that knows Rocco. So if you don't know Rocco that well, you should reach out to Michael first as the connector. And so when I go down here and I import Rocco, it's going to add Rocco and Michael to my pipelines, which I can go over back here. And so if I go now to the fundraising pipeline, you're going to see here's Rocco. And I believe if I have the connector there, and you'll see Michael Potter is added as a connector. And then now I know I can reach out to Michael to get in touch with Rocco, right? Now, this type of work used to take hours and hours and hours, right? Who are the right LPs that I should be going for? Let me add them into a CRM. Let me find a connector. da da da. And reaching out to Michael is very easy. He's added to the connector pipeline. There's built-in things. Now, let's say I want to, this is pretty cool too. So if I want to look for Michael Potter, right, and say I don't have too much information on Michael Potter, I can just copy a bunch of stuff here, right? Over here, correct. Now you see this AI form assistant. I can just pop all this stuff in, and the AI is going to actually enrich Michael Potter's information with stuff pulled. So now, for example, it's going to get, so anything that came from that data dump is now added to Michael Porter's background and the notes, etc. So you can enrich contacts very easily that if you don't have full information on them and you want to get them, etc. Now, fundraising is not just about finding people to back. Let me make sure I have a lot of windows open because I want to show some cool stuff, but I don't want all these windows open. It's also about doing things like hosting events, posting about your firm on social. Now, you can't actually post about your thesis on social, but you can post about the industries and the things you're working on. So I want to show some tools we've built for that as well. So let's say now you've been doing really well and you want to host an event for your new, for Rocco and some of the new LPs. Now, as you guys know, planning and setting up an event can be a real pain in the tushy, right? It can take 45 minutes or so just to get Luma skewed up and all this stuff. So we have an event system built in Hub specifically for events for VCs. So let's create a new event here. So I go into the AI assistant, AI toolkit for events. And it's going to say, once you provide these details. So I'll say like, I want to host an LP dinner on June 15th for 8 people in Mountain View at I don't know what's a good restaurant in Mountain View at I'll just make one up. Greek Bonanza. What at 9 or no 7:30 p.m. Okay. All right. So I'm like, all right, this is what I want to do. Boom, hit return. Now the AI is going to go, oh, you want to do an LP dinner, Greek Bonanza, Mountain View, 8 people, public, 2 hours, welcome, dinner, event description, agenda, everything. Would you like? So I can just say, publish it. Boom. Now it's going to take all that information it just put together and it's going to turn it into a form here. I hit submit, and the next thing you know, now I have an event. Now, just to give you a sense, in the past, like think about it. Like I have an event. That's all it took. Okay. Now, if I go over to our event system over here, LP dinner at Greek Bonanza. There it is. Welcome. Blah, blah, blah. If I go, I click here. Boom. Looks pretty nice. Nice little agenda. How long did that take me, Travis? 30 seconds? And I'm demoing it. It might have been faster if I wasn't demoing it, right? So it's got pretty well, okay. So it had a mistake. It's not at midnight, okay? So it's not I'm not saying it's going to be perfect, but this just saved me a ton of time. So I want to change it got the time right there, but it got the time wrong here. So okay, I turn it now instead of midnight to 7 p.m., right? Save. And so now things like doing an event and if you are fundraising, right, you're doing a combination of attending other people's events and hosting your own events like private dinners for your LPs, etc. So the ability to set up, write, do all this stuff and get it done in seconds is pretty game changing. Now I'm seeing some awesome. So is that cool? Can we see it? What do you think, guys, in the chat? Cool. Well, obviously, hopefully you think it's cool, Travis. All right. Thank you for that. All right. Now I'm going to show you something else. You can tell me if you think that's cool as well. You're a busy manager, right? So you don't want to be spending hours working on an event, and you also don't want to be spending hours of time working on social. So you can go over back to your AI toolkit and say, I need some social for, again, I'm going to go, which fund do you want to do some social outreach for? Now, our social creator knows the rules of general solicitation, what's allowed, what's not allowed. So I say, okay, I want to get some stuff for this fund. Okay. So now this is going to take a little while because I'm going to tell you what it's doing as it's doing it. So it's researching right now the internet for topics that are happening right now because we're using AIs that have real time data in your industry. So, like what just happened in the last couple days in your industry. Then it's taking the top topics that are happening in your industry, which is theoretically happening right now. So it even warns you it's going to take a little time. And it's turning those, it's doing additional research on those topics and turning them in to social posts that you can use. So there's been some AI-powered climate startups in the US and Canada, venture capital deal flow in the climate sector, AI integration in climate tech. So it's finding some news items, turning them into sample posts that you can use. And then, of course, you can edit, et cetera. And you could say, hey, I'm looking for uh, more and you can chat with it, and so it's giving you ideas based on relevant news in the world on things that you can write publicly that are not general solicitation about the industry that you're focused on in the regions you're focused on, that then you can use for the basis of social posts. I want to switch over now to some deal memos and some other things. But what should I do first, my Travis? Uh, AI powered search or or uh, or some deals and deal memo stuff? You tell me.
You know what? Why don't we try to import a deal and then do a search on it?
Well, yeah, okay. I'll do some. Yeah. Now, I didn't test the search before the doing this. So
Yeah,
from
it's
my
not even
mouth
really
to
live yet.
God's
It's
ears, maybe you can test the search. Well, I do the. All right. So a friend of mine. So let's go over to deals for a second. So a friend of mine, and this is a great company. So for all the investors here, uh, his girlfriend is doing a really neat company that's vertical takeoff and landing uh, ports or airports that you can set up in towns because the hovercraft or drone-like vehicles are regulated now in the US, and they're going to come any day in mass. So you'll be able to have go from a small town to a city really fast. So this is their company. It's called landings.co. Okay. So what now, if I go over to my deal, you can see right here, I'm searching landing. There is no landing in my pipeline. So this is actually a live demo from my mouth to God's ears. It works. So these are all the deals. Landing's not in there. Now, every pipeline has an email address. You can email in LPs, you can email in deals. The cool thing about this is it will actually ingest the deal, score it, etc. So I'll show you how to do that. So every funnel or pipeline has an email address. So you can get the email address by copying it right there. And so I'm just going to forward this deal, right, to the email address, right? Hit send. And that's all I need to do to get everything about the deal, including a ton of research in the pipeline. It's going to take the deck, it's going to read the deck, it's going to do research online, and it's going to score the deal, analyze the deal, and give me all the contact information. Now, keep in mind, this deal was sent to me from my friend Jeff, but the person who's the CEO is Lisa, and it's going to figure all that out. So let me go back over here. Just let me reload. Um, I don't even think you need to reload, but I want to be safe. Let me search landing. Let me spell it correctly, of course. That would be good. Uh, it's not in there yet. It does take it because it's doing a lot of stuff on the back end. It can take a few seconds for it to process everything. So it's because first of all, there are email systems between us and the system, and then it's ingesting all this stuff, and it can take a few seconds. I checked with
Yeah,
uh,
it takes a little longer even when there's a PDF because we are
Okay, there it
parsing through
is.
the
It wasn't
PDF
that
and all the
long. How
content.
long was that? 20 seconds? There it is. Okay. So first thing it did is scored the deal at 2. So this sample, and I'll tell you why. It scores it 1 to 5 based on your thesis. In case you didn't notice from the demos before, the thesis of this was a climate tech, blah, blah, blah. And this is a VTOL company. It's like climate tech VTOL. It's probably 2 stars, but it's in there. Now, notice that it's got the company in there, all the stuff. I can look at the people. Notice it got Lisa, the CEO, but not Jeff, my buddy who sent the deal in, right? In addition to that, the file, the deck that was sent in has now been imported into the file system. In addition to that, there's a bunch of notes. So we can look at this. This is the email in my notes. This just says it brought it in and here's what it does. This is pretty cool too. It's starting to do research online to build a profile. And so now it's doing online research. It looked up the GPO fund, who referred it and gave some information on it. It looked up the company online, and then this may be a little small for people to read, but it's done a full analysis of who referred it and ingested data, the company, and put the data in there. The deck is now in our AI friendly database. This deal has been put online. So every deal you have ever received in email, forward, and you have everyone in your CRM fully accessible by AI, scored and ready to go. And listen, yeah, I mean, maybe the scoring isn't perfect, but it's a lot better than maybe an analyst that you would hire who's relatively new and it doesn't like get tired after doing 60 deals and the 61st deal is like a half-ass deal whereas the 60th deal is full. Every deal has the same amount of thing, so you can afford 100 deals, 150 deals, however many deals you want, and that 151st deal will be just as good as the 100th deal. All right, how cool, and I'm not even done yet, but how cool is that?
Wow. I got
What
to
do
say, I'm
people
pretty proud of my team right now. That's
Does
incredible stuff.
anyone want to add anything in the chat? Let's see. Do you guys like it so far? Yes, no, maybe. I'm happy to connect. All right. So now I'm going to show you some other cool stuff. All right, because this is just the beginning. And there's actually even more. Wait till we get to the global search. That's pretty cool too. All right, so now you're like, all right, I got this deal. I kind of like it. Let's say we like it more, so we're gonna just give it a 4. We think it's a little bit more uh, climate techy than driving tons of cars around or whatever. So I'm gonna give it a 4. So I say, all right, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna write a deal memo for it. So now, for those of you who don't know, in venture capital, you have to do a deal memo. It's like this the everybody, it's basically your rationale for why you did a deal. And LPs look at your deal memos. You will go back and read your deal memos like They're famous deal memos like Roloff deciding to invest in YouTube is one. It got publicly revealed in a court case. So there's a public YouTube deal memo. So deal memos are how venture capital work, but they can be really tedious to write, right? Maybe a third of it, it's almost like a ppm or something like that. Like a third of it is actually what you are is interesting, and two-thirds of it is like take stuff from the deck, put it into the deal memo, and rewrite it. Now, so let's go create a deal memo for this company that I just ingested. Okay, boom, hit it here. It's going to be in it, not a follow-on. It's an initial investment. Whoop. And I'm going to include all the organizational information. So I'm going to, whoop, I want to do that. Create the deal memo. Boom. In a couple seconds, we're going to have a deal memo. Here it is. But of course, like everything's empty, right? Because now you have to write the deal memo. Like, what problem is the company solving? Now, me sitting there and writing what problem the company is solving is maybe not the best use of my time, right? But at this point, I have an email from the founder, plus all other emails have been ingested as well. So the entire email history with Lisa is now in the system. The deck is in the system. The analysis by our AI searching the internet about landings.co is in the system. So I'm just going to say I think it can AI can write this better than me. So I'm just going to hit write with AI. What problem is the company solving? It's looking at it tells you what it has. It's and then boom, there it is. That was fast, right? Could I have written that faster? No. Like, would I have been able to do that in it as well? No. This would have just this section, probably I would have had to look at all my emails, all the decks, done some Google research, etc. Done like that. How cool is that?
I love Jason's comment.
All right. So let's say I want to rewrite it. I can say, hey, make this two paragraphs. Of course, it doesn't really care how you spell, but I'll fix the spelling for everybody here. So then, so you can edit it, you can make it better, you can give it instructions, you can tell it like, hey, there we go, it made it two paragraphs. So you can just saves tons and tons of time. So I'm going to add that answer. And then you can do this for all the different sections, all the different things. You can even have it write all the sections at once. You can add your notes, like you could say, hey, I think they're great. And then it will take your kind of chicken scratch notes and turn it into a nicely formatted thing and eventually just produce a full featured deal memo. And of course, like all things, as I brought up before, you can upload term sheets. So if there, for example, if in your email history you have a term sheet, it will detect that you have a term sheet and put it here. It will put all the other files here, etc. I just want to go back and show one other cool thing about this. So we also like, I'm not saying you should do everything with AI just yet, right? But writing what a company does when you have everything is not really a great use of your time as a manager, right? It's just regurgitating information. And that's why large firms have banks of associates to do this grunt work. But you as a manager still have to make decisions. And so we do try and make those things easier. So let's say you want to do your own research on landings at Go. Of course, you have the link to their website right here, all ingested from the email. But you can also, we have buttons like you can click this little G and it will Google landings.co. So you can try and find stuff out about them. So we have a combination of tools that allow AI to help you, but also provide you with the ability to quickly do research, quickly do analysis, and figure out your own stuff. By the way, deals can come in. You can send them in through email. you also, just while we're on deals, this isn't AI, and a lot of what I want to show is AI, but you have the ability, and let me just turn this on. Uh, Travis, where's the deal ingestion form? Is it under settings or I
Um,
forget where it is? You
Actually,
tell, yeah, you
yeah,
find
right
it.
there, investment inquiry form underneath your deal funnel,
Ah,
right
duh.
there.
Okay, so excuse me, I should know this. But you can also build your own deal ingestion form, which and you could add your own questions, and then if you want to say, hey, send me your deal, but I need a certain type of information, you can customize your own form and then send a link. And let's say someone who wants to get investment from you fills out the form. You could put whatever questions you want in this form, and then that information will be put into the system, and that information will be available to the AI to analyze, to create the deal memos, etc. So we really try and make your job as a VC much easier, right? You can find your limited partners, host events, etc., get deals very easily, analyze them, write things. I want to show you some other stuff as well, but I know it can be a little bit of overload. We're showing a lot of cool things, but I want to show our AI powered search right now. Um, so I want to see if this works. So I'm going to try something. So yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah,
So
this one is not even live yet. Like this is still in
yeah, this
development,
is you're
so early
seeing.
early preview.
Yeah, this is like beta v.5. Okay,
Yeah.
so what we're doing is we're connecting all the different pieces of Hub, events, newsletters, LP pipelines, blah, 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 into a global AI powered search so that eventually you'll be able to just tell the AI anything and it will help you find it or do it. So, and it can be pretty like, so Travis Giggy. So I'm just gonna it has no idea what I might mean by putting in Travis Giggy. I just put Travis Giggy. Is that a person? Is it a vertical takeoff and landing company? So right now it's trying to figure out what is this. So it says, oh, Travis, it could be a person. It's actually an investor product. There's a file in there named Travis. So the AI is able to sort of determine, oh, Travis, let me see where it is in the world. Let me look it up. We got some people named Travis. We got some investor pipelines, investor prospects named Travis. Look at capital accounts, capital calls. And so we're connecting all this different thing. What would be a good another search query to try, Travis? Because I didn't get to uh,
Mm. Vandians.
what?
Vandians. There should be a deal memo and a corporation in
Oh,
there. Actually, I'm not sure if we're searching deal memos yet, but let's see.
we'll find out. So landings.co. Let's see if it works. If we can find it. So the idea, but more than that, we could say like, oh, it got it. Yep.
Oh,
So you can literally search for anything, capital calls, capital accounts, past due, people who are delinquent on capital accounts. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna get. This may fail. How many capital uh,
yeah, it's not
calls?
going to work.
It's not gonna. Okay, you're gonna tell me it might work. All right. So,
We're
but
getting
the
close to
other
that,
thing
but
is,
not there yet.
but it does determine how to do a capital. So well, I can even put a typo in there. So it does understand that some things are not searches for data, but questions. So it will actually tell you to create a capital call. So you could, because it's AI powered, it has the intelligence to realize, hey, this probably is a person. I should look for this person around. This probably is a question. I should answer this question with advice. So pretty much anything you need, even about VC, what is a limited partner? So you can literally ask it anything about data in your system, about things that are happening in the world, etc. It will determine what you're asking and how to best look for it and give you an answer. And so eventually, what we want our system to be is this AI powered thing where you could say, I want to do a capital call for 20%, and it will just go do the capital call for 20% and say, are you, this is what it looks like, confirm, you confirm, maybe you even double confirm, and then it just does it for you, right? It
I'm
takes
looking
care.
forward to the day that you can just ask it, what should I do next?
Mm, let me show you that because we in fact have that. Ha ha ha.
Oh,
So we do in fact have what Travis said. So if I go back to the AI toolkit, now this is early days. So you're going to see this AI advisor here. So again, it says, which fund do you need help with? So you go to sample fund one. Now, what we've done is Mike Supervici and I have been advising funds for a long time. We've advised thousands and thousands of funds. Together, Mike and I have launched 13 funds, or I launched 14 funds. And together, Mike and I launched 13, and then I've helped 10 before VC Lab, and through VC Lab and Decile Group, literally thousands. So what this will do now is it gets information on your fund and it says, here's what your status is. You're in the closing stage. Here's the advice that we give. Here are suggestions: 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 8 weeks. Here's right. So we're running out of time on the fundraising period. So it's like urgent, next steps. Make a decision within the, here, I'll make this a bit bigger, right? So back to the thing, it can literally tell you right now what you should do as a manager because, you're running out of time, your deadline's coming up and you need to raise some more money to hit your target. So you got to make a decision within the next 7 days about extending your timeline. So back to what you said, you wish that it can give you advice on what to do. We literally have an advisor that can look across the entire operation that you have, yeah, your capital calls, your deals. So we'll even say things like, I hear my dog, my fiance went outside, left, and when my fiance is gone, my dog's not happy. So I'm gonna go in a second and open the door so my howling dog can be a little happier around dad. So anyway, yeah, it will literally show you analyze which LP archetype. So it gives you very specific recommendations and how it's not like, how does it know all this? So it has access to the information in your system and it's got the advice from Mike and myself over years of helping managers get top decile performance. And it turns that into an actionable plan that you can do with advice and strategy very easily. So isn't that's
yeah,
pretty cool as well? Is that cool? Let's see in the chat.
yeah, very cool.
I'm not anyone in the chat cool, not cool, maybe cool. All right, so what I want to do now, okay, super cool. I'm gonna let in my dog.
Thanks, Chris.
So we have a one happy
Yeah.
animal here.
I'll fill the air
And
for a moment.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Uh,
So this AI advisor is under active development at the moment, and it's going to be mashed up with the global search that you just saw. And so not only is it going to be able to give you advice soon, but it's going to give you actionable advice. This LP needs to be followed up with. Send this message to this person. This deal memo was only partially complete. And so this is where you can really see the future. Like this is going to be absolutely amazing. Just give it a few more months. It's already
yeah, the
amazing, I think,
pieces
but
the
we
pieces
constant.
are coming
Mhm.
together. They're all like coming together, as
Yeah,
you can see, and they work now a little bit in silos. And so what we're doing is like, hey, wait a minute, we have all this data. Is the advice really good that we're getting? And it's like we can test it because we have very close relationships with a bunch of users. So we have team members go in with the users and test it and see what it says for their fund. And then we say, would we give this advice ourselves? And if the answer is yes, it's like, oh, it's pretty good. And I would say, like almost all the time, the advice is good. And it's what Travis is saying. The next step, so right now it will say, contact all pack signers to convert as many as possible before the deadline. Soon it will then just have a button and it will be like contact all pack signers and click to do it. And then you just click it and it will contact all pack signers. And speaking of which, I always like showing this, but I've shown it before. Our email writing stuff is really amazing. So I'll just kind of do that and then we'll turn it over to your questions. So if you do have someone, I'll contact Woody and you want to contact Woody about signing a pact, I can just go. A pact is a commitment to invest. Now, if you want to get Woody to sign a commitment to invest, excuse me, they're generic templates here, but you wouldn't really want to send Woody a generic template to invest, right? That's not going to work very well. So what you can do is you can hit this enable AI writing here, and it's going to take this email to Woody and it's going to completely customize it. Now, what's really neat is beyond the fact that, and of course, if you could say regenerate. So if you don't like that version, you can regenerate it. But back to the point, what it's doing behind the scenes is it has my style of writing. And I'll show you where you can access it. Because our AI, when you connect your email, will look at emails that you wrote, and it creates a style guide. It says, Adeo writes like this. And I'll show you where you can find that style guide. And then every email that you want to customize, it takes that style guide and the template and these instructions, and it turns it into an email as if it were written by you. Okay. So I hope you're doing well. I want to reach out and thank you for your interest and say we're thrilled about potentially having you on board. Is it so? Sounds like me. In addition, it knows the history of my emailing with Woody. So if I go over here, I can go to prospect activity and it will say, I sent this email, that email. Uh, so it has the whole history, all the emails ever written, ever received with Woody. Now, this is, if you're uncomfortable with that, you can also disable this, by the way. But it has the history with Woody, and it's using my email style and the email history with Woody to write and by the way, the profile information of Woody that was in the system to create that perfect email. Now, like all things written by I would recommend you edit it, but this takes a 20-minute email writing process and brings it down to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 minute, very, very much faster. Okay. And so I'll just show you where you find that. So if you go up here, you're going to have edit profile because there's my head. We'll edit profile. Under edit profile, here's my email signature, and there's a writing style summary. This is what the AI writes to make it sound like me, right? So it's different examples, length and format. So it really kind of tries to capture. And of course, if you're like, hey, I don't like this summary of my email writing, you can select it all, delete it, and write whatever you want. And then you'll have a different email style guide. So this was just, I mean, we could keep going, and there's about 10 minutes left. So I'm sure that there are some, hopefully you guys have some, if not, it's great. I can head to the
I'm seeing
offsite.
some great questions.
Um, did you get some questions as we were going along, Travis, that you saw or?
We've got a bunch of them that have been submitted into the Q&A.
Oh, we do? Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So if you want to upvote those questions, I'm going to go by upvote and we'll go fast. Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to read them and I'll answer, or shall I read them and you answer?
Sure. Um, let's see. On the event system, Charlie asks, we work globally with funders. Maybe set the time to 24 hours for clarity across time zones. Charlie, I don't think that we have that capability right now, but it sounds really easy. We're always listening to our users and we're constantly upgrading and adding things. And so let me talk to the team. We can have that quick.
Okay. Yeah, I usually sort at the top by voted, the top
Yeah,
votes. So if you guys
we didn't.
thumbs up questions, we'll do those first.
All right. Jim asks, is Decile Hub available to use now? At what price? I run a small existing fund today and would be interested in trying some of the back-end features on this and then to use for a future fund.
Yeah, so Jim, you can sign up for the waiting list. I can show you right now. Let me do so. Unfortunately, what we're doing at this moment is we're upgrading our our onboarding. So if you go to Decile Hub, oh, of course I went to, if you go to decilehub.com, you'll see apply for access. So just fill this out. And right now we have a backlog of about 100 firms waiting for access. And we're close to releasing. So as I said, what we're doing at the moment is we're upgrading the onboarding. The onboarding's a little not as great as we would like. The product's great. The onboarding is not so great. So we're making the onboarding better, simpler. And when the onboarding is done, maybe in a week or so, we're gonna send everyone access. Right now, it's free. Everything you saw is free. Everyone who signs up and gets it will get everything for free for 3 months. Then most of it will still be free, but some of the stuff where it's AI intensive, etc., there's some cost to us for that. And I forget what our monthly price is, but you can have, I believe it's 249 right now. And that includes all your users, all the AI, etc. And it's 249 a month for it's free for most of it, and to unlock some of the stuff where we have costs like AI, et cetera, that's 249 for your whole team, I believe, a month. You want to keep going?
Yeah. Rafa asks, hi, does the solution do fund admin and accounting?
Yes. In fact, we even have AI for fund admin and counting, but they're less AI because AI makes mistakes. It's okay to make a mistake on social, you know, not the end of the world. Oh my God, it was like there was a typo in his social post. I mean, that's probably me every day. But it's not so great if there's a typo in your, yeah. So we have a whole powerful back office here. So you can have a dashboard. It's links with Plaid to your bank account. So this is sample data, obviously. Well, sample account clearly. So it will show who the investors are, delinquent capital calls, your returns, and then you can generate financial reports. You can capital accounts. So it's a full featured. In fact, we've hired people from all the major companies in the sector, and we are the most automated back office solution, full stop, of anyone out there. So capital calls are fully automated. Everything is fully automated on the back office side. Back to you, Travis.
All right. In the email writing area, is there a way for the system to reply to older emails instead of sending a new email every time? This
No.
is not
Yeah.
something that we do at the moment. So something that we have heard in the past and that we'd love to be able to do. And we have the type of integration with Google and Microsoft Outlook that we could do it. We just haven't gotten around to it yet.
Yeah, and we're going to be redoing our email a lot because right now it's like you got to say I want to send this email, this template, this person, but you really want almost like an AI first thing. It's like reply to so and so and send them the pact and it will just then boop, here's the email, send, right?
Yeah.
I want to make this like even right now it's pretty magical when you have the idea of a traditional email tool with I want to have an AI first email experience, um, will do things like, hey, reply to so and so, or write this email, or remind everyone to sign the agreement, and you can just type that and it does it. I want the UI to be very fluid almost you could just instruct it to do whatever you want and it will go do it.
Yeah. All right. In the events, can it restrict the attendee list? We had a problem with Luma in which someone got a link to our private event and they applied. We did not invite them, but then it was unpolite to tell them not to come. It will be great if it gave the person a nice "you're not invited, so you can't sign up" message.
I believe there, yes, I believe our event system, but I don't know the answer to that question, so I'm going in right now and checking. In the settings, you can put passwords, right? But of course, people can get passwords. And I'm looking, invite, you can make it public or private. So I'm making it private. You can put a password. So look, actually, we don't right now with files and other sharing of sensitive information. You can actually restrict and you can say only people in this pipeline or in this stage of a pipeline can look at these files, right? So we could, right now, our event security is limited to password, but we could, and maybe Travis, you take a note on this, we could very easily, like we do with files, say limit only people in this pipeline to go to the event. That's easy.
Yeah.
Jim's
Yeah. We
asking,
could
can
definitely
the
do that.
deal memo feature pulling graphs from a company's deck? Why, yes, it can. In fact, we just now in terms of sucking the graph and putting it into the deal memo, no, but we've added the ability to read graphs, so it gets the data from charts and graphs. It can recreate a table in the deal memo that came from a charting graph. So it's sort of if you're saying can it copy the exact chart and graph and put it in the deal memo, right now it can't take that exact chart and graph, but it's reading the data of the chart and graph and it can repurpose that as a table or other information. So
And also,
yes.
well,
Yeah.
Jim, the all the text fields in the deal memo are rich text, and so you could take a screenshot of it from the deck and drag it in. So we can grab the data via the AI, but then you can just pull the graph in itself.
Yeah. Sort of. But the main thing was quite an achievement. Oh, and and this is so cool. We just got DocSend working. So you know how DocSend puts everything in an image, and you can never get the crap out of DocSend. So you have to have a monkey go in and be like, "Oh, copy paste." It's like a really stupid. We can read if someone sends you a DocSend link, our AI will go into the DocSend, it will read the entire material in the DocSend and put it into our vector database. So that also can be used. So that's super because I know like if you're an investor, you're like, oh, it's in DocSend. It's like, God, I'll never be able to use it and or I have to open the DocSend and open my deal memo and now
Yeah, and
all
we do
that
that in a
docs.
very transparent way too. We like if there's a DocSend link in it and you want to ingest that file, we'll use your email address to go into DocSend. So the founder still knows that you looked at the deck. They know that you looked at all the pages of the deck, but you also have that information inside of your hub. So
How cool
um
is that, right? All right,
so
let's
uh
keep going with questions.
how does Decile Hub connect and interact with other AI tools that may be used? So we do have an API. The API is it's fairly mature. I would say that it could be better, but as with all things, get a hub account, get an API key, give it a shot. We have a lot of people using Zapier with the API. and a couple of VCs that have hired developers to do deeper integrations. So that's absolutely possible.
KT's asking for AI social. Can you input articles for AI to write the post? Absolutely. So the AI will do some research on the internet and come up with topics. But after it does that, you can chat with the AI. You can paste in links. I'm not sure if it will read the links. Maybe you could try it, Travis, and see if it works while I'm answering the question. But you could certainly paste the content of the article in and it will then create posts from
Yeah,
that.
that's right.
I believe it should be able to ingest the links. If not, that's definitely coming.
Uh, links are a little more difficult for us, but you can upload PDFs. You can upload Excel documents, Word documents. You can upload images, and we can read all of those along with a chat. And so you can start a chat and just upload the stuff and say, "Give me some ideas," or you can see the ideas that are pre-generated and then say, "Use this content to refine those ideas." So you can
Hmm.
continue the conversation with the AI.
Yeah. Hannah's asking, what are the parameters behind the scoring of deals? So basically, it looks at your thesis, right? And so you could say I'm a seed stage blankety blank fund investing in these sectors, et cetera. And so if a non-seed deal comes in, it will score it low. So basically, it's scoring off your thesis. Of course, I didn't show this, and I can show it to you quickly now. Our we don't expect AI to be like the best scoring thing ever yet, right? And so your question is, can you adjust the criteria? And the answer to that question is right now it's really based on your thesis to give a quick first pass score. But if we go back to that deal memo by landings.co, what we really want you to do, or we have the power for you to do, um, if you go here, you see this, there was this add rating button right there. Um, you can go down and let's go to the add
Or
rating.
ratings tab.
Well, yeah,
It's a
sorry.
tab.
I was distracted. Uh, so here you go. You can rate the company on a lot of different areas, right? Actually, the team is really good. So I like this company. So the deal. So right now it's the star rating is based on the thesis of your fund. Very simplistic, quick filter, yes or no. And then you go in as the manager and you can do more detailed, extensive rating. And the answer is in the future, will allow you to do some fine tuning of the star rating. But right now, because AIs are not always the best, we're just keeping it to the simple 5-star rating, but we support you doing a much more complicated rating if you need. Um,
Yeah, that got uh, good answer for what Jason's asking as well. Is there a mechanism to score deals not only on thesis but also on deal terms and mechanics?
Yeah,
So
there's
yeah,
another
Jason.
question. They said, "Hey, where is where is the email address to send things?" So every pipeline has a custom email address. I'll just show you where it is. So if you go back up here, you see pipeline ingest in email. Now, and you can edit the email. So if you don't like the email, you can make your own email address. Or if accidentally you leaked the pipeline email, or and you're like, oh crap, I'm getting like tons of inbound stuff. I want to slow that down. You can change it to whatever you want, and you can and put a different email address. Um, all right, we got lots of more onboarding videos and tips. Yes, yes. There's in the future we will add more onboard. We know
We'll be talking about
onboarding is
that
a
today.
problem, which is why we're not doing massive onboardings, even though we have about 100 firms on the waiting list. So we're going to be fixing up the onboarding to make it a little better. Uh,
Javier asks, can we
yeah.
have multiple investment forms for the different stages of our deal review process? How do we visualize the data of the forms, the deal funnel update itself with new columns or a dashboard?
That's a great idea. We'll get there in the future, Javier. Right now, the inbound form, by the way, we have a form builder It's not publicly available for everyone, but if someone really wanted it, you could have it. And then you could, in fact, make multiple forms for multiple stages. But right now, default out the box, Hub comes with one deal ingestment form, but we really have a powerful form builder. So that idea is possible if you asked. We could turn on the form builder for you and you could build any kind of form you wanted to ingest all kinds of information based on stage, etc. Can you share your pipeline types idea? Very organized types. Yeah, so Jenna, we have you can do any kind of pipeline you want. In fact, you can add your own pipelines. We come with fundraising, deal flow. There's a closing pipeline, a connector pipeline, and a hiring pipeline out of the gate. Some of them are hidden when you get started. So just as an FYI, we have so many features in Hub. Oh crap, we run over and I have an offsite that we hide a lot of them, right? So like newsletters, so a lot of things are hidden, right? So you can put these on or hide them. You can reorder them in the nav. And we do that just to keep the product simple for you so that when you come in, it's very approachable and not everyone needs to send newsletters or run events. So we might hide them in the beginning and you can add them later. You might not be recruiting people for your firm, so we hide them. You can add them later. And then if you want, you can add your own funnel. So you could say XYZ. It could be blank or it could use and we have exist you can copy a funnel and if you want to do it or make a fundraising funnel, etc. So you can create funnels. Guys, this was amazing, but I really do have an offsite to get to. I'm late. I did this from home. I actually think, Travis, this went very smoothly, so I'm very happy with the outcome. But I
Yeah,
am
me too.
late, so I gotta go, everyone. This was amazing. Hopefully, you found it as exciting and enlightening as I did. Thanks, guys.
Bye.